2012, public flash mobs began appearing in city centers from Paris to Jakarta, all performing the same bouncing, animal-inspired choreography. The routine quickly traveled upward. British Prime Minister David Cameron was famously documented attempting the specific physical gestures on camera. Within the United Nations, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon publicly performed the dance and hailed it as a force for world peace and international diplomacy. By November, Psy was closing out the American Music Awards, performing a live mashup with rap icon MC Hammer that reached a global television audience. This single YouTube upload had successfully infected every tier of society, moving from teenage street performances to head-of-state press conferences. The raw data was staggering. It took exactly 159 days for the video to reach 1 billion views on YouTube. To understand the volume of that attention, you have to look at the cumulative watch time. 1 billion views represents about 8,017 years of viewing, the equivalent of 119 continuous human lifetimes. By December 2014, the traffic broke the foundational code of the platform. YouTube's view counts were stored as 32-bit integers, which capped at 2.14 billion. The counter shattered its mathematical limit, forcing engineers to upgrade the site's entire architecture to 64-bit integers. Billions of people enthusiastically mimicked the routine, yet outside of South Korea, almost none of them realized they were participating in a hyper-local critique of class anxiety. The global audience fell in love with a joke they didn't understand. Gangnam is an affluent neighborhood in Seoul, often compared to Beverly Hills. It is defined by high-end real estate, luxury brands, and a performative, image-obsessed lifestyle. Following the Korean War, rapid economic growth turned the area from farmland into a commercial hub. By 2012, it stood as the symbol of the country's new wealth and conspicuous consumption. The creator of the track, Psy, was a veteran artist with 6 albums. His stocky build and comedic persona stood in sharp contrast to the polished teenage idols that dominated the K-pop industry at the time. He used this persona to mock the district's reputation for acting noble and sophisticated during the day, while indulging in hedonism at night. The music video places Psy's character into environments of supposed high society. He lounges in a children's playground that he pretends is a beach, yells at posteriors during yoga sessions, and thrusts his pelvis in elevators. Then there is the choreography. The routine relies on a bouncing footwork pattern paired with arm movements that mimic holding horse reins and spinning a lasso. Because horse riding is a hobby of the elite, simulating it in a subway car or a public sauna serves as a visual punchline. It mocks the absurdity of people trying too hard to look wealthy. The reliance on physical comedy and a high-tempo dance beat allowed the spectacle to bypass language barriers. The local satire flew over the heads of the international audience, but the delivery system was universally contagious. Psy never replicated this specific mathematical miracle of his billion-view hit. Instead, he founded his own record label, P Nation, taking on a role as a veteran industry head for major Korean artists like Jessie and Hyuna. The sheer volume of traffic forced the Western music industry to acknowledge South Korean media as a viable global force. Psy's success proved there was a massive, lucrative international appetite for this aesthetic. This visibility created a blueprint for groups like BTS, who eventually became the first Korean act to top the Billboard Hot 100 and perform as headliners at major American award ceremonies. As the world became increasingly familiar with the Korean waves, or Hallyu, the curiosity that began with music started to bleed into other industries. By the late 2010s, South Korean media was no longer a niche import, but a contender for the highest international honors. The momentum culminated in 2020, when director Bong Joon-ho won the Academy Award for Best Picture. The cultural attention that Psy first captured in 2012 had evolved into a permanent fixture in global cinema. The 2012 horse dance functioned as a Trojan horse. It broke through the language barrier and delivered the Korean wave to a global audience that has only grown larger in the years since.